One of the things my students love most about being online, and this happened maybe the first semester I tried it, is I got the comment, "I don't have to wait to be called on to speak." And I hadn't even thought of that before, but that, on the one hand, that accounts for how much more participation there is. So there's a different quality of participation that I talked about. It's more casual. But there's also, just in terms of volume, and I think this is significant when we're, especially around my classes, because they're so much discussion oriented. My classes aren't really about, here's some information and can you retain this information? It's about, we need to be thinking together. We need to be live together, challenging and supporting each other to think deeply about certain things. So we really rely on each other for the good ideas. Like some good ideas we'll get from our readings, but a lot of our good ideas will come from each other, from our experiences and from just our live, deep thinking about things. And just the sheer volume of words and ideas that come out of the students in the chat room is like 10 times more than in a classroom. Mostly because they're speaking at the same time, they're chatting at the same time. That really does something. I mean, it gives us a lot more to think about in terms of the content. And it shows them a different side of each other than they see in the classroom. And many of my students will say, I'm so shy in class, I don't dare speak, and I know I should, I'm trying to speak more. But when they're behind the screen and they're just chatting, they have a lot to say. And other people in the class will respond to what they say. So they get the experience of, oh, I had something important that somebody thought was a good idea, wanted to comment about. It builds confidence in their ability to speak out in class when we're back in class. And that's something they've told me. And that's something they regularly tell me in our course evaluations, that they have learned how to be more confident speaking in class because they got such positive response in the chat room. For me, that's the biggest advantage of online, is the volume and the nature of the participation among the students and with me that happens in the chat room. And another one is, another advantage I mentioned before about this, the ability to do a close reading of the film that we're watching. And I'm not exactly sure why that is, because we see the same film if we're watching it in class. I do show little segments in class as well. It might just be, again, because of the opportunity to not wait to be called on. And if there's 30 people watching something, but only 3 people are able to say what they saw and noticed in class, because that's all the time we have, and we have to wait and listen to what everybody says, that we get that much. But if like 10 people online notice different things, we're getting a much different nuanced reading of what we just saw, and that makes for a more interesting discussion.